Rev up your engine. All right, here's an interesting car. Guy bought this Lexus ES350 used, and he paid less money for this than he did his previous car, which was a used Hyundai. He paid $18,500 for the used Elantra, but he paid $12,950 for the used Lexus. Boy, did he get a deal there. Now, he did get 100,000 miles on the Hyundai because he had a mechanic like me that took care of it, and he was also an honest mechanic because the valve train was starting to clatter, and the mechanic said, you don't want to fix this. With 120-something thousand miles, you don't want to fix this Hyundai engine. Cost you too much. It's not worth it. So he watches my videos, and he tried Bernie's oil cleaner. With Bernie's ATS oil cleaner, the noise went away. It cleaned the crud out. But he knew it's a ticking time bomb. So he got rid of it, and he bought this thing used for less than $13,000. Look at this beautiful shape this thing is in, right? You go to a luxury car like this from an Elantra, that's you know, pretty smart move. As you can see inside, leather's still in excellent shape. Doesn't look like anybody sat in the back seat for quite some time. He does have 3 sons, but they're all grown up, so he'd have to worry about kids destroying the leather seats, right? And as he just told me, he preaches nothing but Honda and Toyota. Of course, Lexuses are just fancy Toyotas. Now, if you buy a brand new one, truthfully, they're not as well made as they used to be. But you don't get value for money because you're paying too much money. But in this case, less than $13,000. As we look under the hood, it's got the Lexus V6 engine. And being a 2015, it's one of the best ones they ever made. No rubber timing belts, got time and chain. And now, it's a northern car, so you're going to see superficial things like the metal here has rust on it, the bolt has a little rust. That's just how they are. It's not hurting anything. Now, he doesn't even check the gas mileage. It's rated at 31 on a highway, and if you're going about a steady 65, you'll get anywhere between 28 and 31 miles a gallon. They're decent. Now in town, you're going to get about 10 miles a gallon less because it's a fast car and you're stopping and going. It's not regenerative brakes or anything. It's just a normal 6-cylinder gasoline engine. Well, I guess I shouldn't have said normal because the Toyota V6, this thing still doesn't burn any oil. Runs perfectly fine. Even though it lives in Massachusetts, Lexus does a pretty good job with their corrosion proofing when they build them. You can see wheel wells, they don't have any problems. Even the rims are still in pretty good shape. And they use a lot of salt in Massachusetts. Was on some of their full frame vehicles like the Tacomas and Tundras. And guess what? Those frames weren't made in Japan. Those were frames made by an American company who screwed up. Toyota did get 100-something million or more from them for the problems that they had from them. But this thing was made in Japan. Look at the VIN, you'll see it says J, that means it was made in Japan. Now let's go inside, see what the old computer has to say. So we got the old Autel plugged in, standalone diagnosis. Knows that it's ES350, North America, 2015, V6 engine with radar cruise. Now hilarious enough for everyone in the know, he has the GPS map built into the car, but like everyone else, he uses a cell phone. Come on, they updated. Google tell you when there's a wreck and stuff. This in-dash car GPS to me is the dumbest thing on earth. It was fine when no one had cell phones with GPS, but it's a complete waste of time. They aren't updated enough. They aren't as accurate. Most of them aren't giving you any kind of traffic directions. If there's a wreck or something, just use your phone. Now, as you can see, this can do a full topology scan on this 2015, and now it's going through it. You can see it's going pretty fast. Nice setup here. Everything you want to see. Temperature gauge, fuel, RPMs, what mode you're in. And of course you can play with your modes here. You can also shift it manually if you want, or you can have eco, normal, or sport mode. Now it's done, but hey, look, it's got 10 trouble codes. We're going to see what's going on. It runs fine for them. There's probably going to be a whole bunch of crazy trouble codes. So let's start out here. The navigation system that I happen to be talking about. We'll see what codes it has. Getting ready to pop up the trouble codes. Navigation processor fault. Telematics transceiver disconnected. What does he care? He doesn't even use this stupid thing. So let's go over here. The left rear door motor. That's got a code. Okay. A motor fault for the door. Well, the window goes up and down. The door opens and closes. Let's try the locks. It locks and unlocks, so he probably didn't care about that either. Okay, now we'll go to T&T, tilt and telescopic steering. That's got a code. ECU power source circuit. Well, the tilt works, so we don't care about the power source circuit. Now, at some point in time, he bought this thing recently. Somebody might have replaced the battery, all kinds of things. A lot of these codes could easily be ones that were just stored, and unless you have a big computer like this, they're not going to erase themselves. You got to manually erase them with a high-level scan tool. ABS system, see what that nutty code is? Performance decline of brake function. Well, his brakes, he said, are working perfectly fine for him. I guess the computer disagrees, but that's the problem when you get really high technology stuff. We have no idea what's done to this car before he bought it. Somebody might have worked on the brake system. Maybe they replaced the master cylinder or something, and they never reset any of these codes. So we'll erase this one too. And it's also got a telematics code for replace backup battery, 2 of those. A lot of people don't know it, but these fancier cars, a lot of them have backup little tiny batteries so you don't lose memory. Well, that battery's gone because the car's now 9 years old. He doesn't really care about that either. Well, check it out. You'd be wasting your time if you bought one anyways. Listen to this. The backup battery provides power to the Lexus Safety Connect telematic system. All 2010 to 2017 models have a 3G telematic transceiver that will have no service after 10/31/2022 as the legacy towers are being shut down. So don't waste your money putting one in. So really, that system's not even supported anymore for the backup battery, so we don't have to worry about that. It's an ECM code, so let's see what that is. The #1 code for Toyotas and Lexuses, startability fault. Now, if you have a problem with your remote starter, this doesn't have a key, it's got a push start, or if your battery gets low, you'll get a startability fault. So I'm sure that at some point in time, the previous owner had the battery replaced, but didn't reset any of these codes. So we'll reset them all. Go, we'll get rid of them all. Now they're all clear. So let's start her up and look at some of the live data. Remember, black's good, red is bad. No codes, battery voltage is fine. It's a closed loop. Now this thing now has 140,653 miles on it. Now the air fuel sensors here, you can see both of them, they're pretty close to perfect. One is 0 and one is 0, and every once in a while minus 0.01. 0 is perfect, minus 0.1 is almost perfect. It's got 140,000 miles. What do you want, perfection? You can see the battery was disconnected 10,076 kilometers ago. So that's probably when the battery was replaced, and they should have reset a bunch of stuff that they didn't. Because on these complex machines, if you have low battery voltage, it can trip a lot of codes through electronic failure of not enough power. You saw some of those codes were not enough power. And if you do replace a battery that's bad, you really need a guy like me to just reset the stuff for you, you know? Hey, if you're near Portsmouth, Rhode Island, or Clarksville, Tennessee, when I'm there, I do it for free. Bring it on by. Most guys don't have a machine like this. They don't know how to operate them. And when they change the battery, maybe they'll have some cheap scan tool and they'll put erase codes. It won't erase all this stuff. The air fuel sensor, engine speed fluctuation averages 0, 0. It doesn't fluctuate at all. Seems like it's running perfect by outside idling, but the computer just proves that. And it's got an electronically controlled 6-speed transmission. So let's take it for a spin. Take our foot off, a real parking brake, not electronic nonsense. Got a nice backup camera. It may be older, but it still works pretty good. But I don't know, it doesn't bend as much as the new ones. 140,000 miles. Idles like a dream. These are luxurious cars, there's no arguing that. They're relatively low to the ground, so we go over the bump slow. And you can see, on these hard Rhode Island roads, voted worst in the nation year after year, it's still got a really smooth ride. This one still has the original struts on it, and they're still working pretty good. It's on eco. Well, poo that. There. We're putting it on sport. We're at our little intersection. What are these people doing? Monday, 10:30 in the morning. They should be at work. Whee! Man. This thing shifts as smooth as it did the day it was made. Plenty of pickup. People complain, these aren't race cars. No, sports sedans, you might want to call them. But the smooth ride, 140,000 miles. If you would have blindfolded me and stuck me in this car, I would have no idea how old it is and what mileage it has. Still runs pretty much the same as the day it was made. It's one of the reasons you really want a Japanese-made one. They just do a better job putting them together. And unlike the modern ones, look at the screen. It's in the right place. It matches with the car. It isn't this big ugly thing sticking up in the air. I don't know where they got that idea to stick those things on, but Boy, they should go back to their old design that looks much better than a big old rectangle sticking up. Hey, this is one sweet riding car. And he paid less for this than he did for his Hyundai. Hey, what a deal! It'll certainly outlast the Hyundai too. These don't have variable valve timing problems at all. This is still one heck of a car. It's got tons of life left in it. And he didn't have to pay the sticker price. A little over $13,000 for this thing. So what do I think about this used car? I think he got a heck of a deal. He made a real smart move going from a Hyundai to one of these and paying less money. That's why you want to look at used cars. You're never ever going to get a deal on a new car. It doesn't matter what you buy, who you buy it from. They are all overpriced, right? The average price of a new car today is over $46,000. That's an average car. Hey, he get 4 of these for that price, and he'd never have to buy another car the rest of his life. Who knows? Maybe this one will last for the rest of his life. We don't know, but hey, they don't have all the super high tech. Yeah, it's got a timing chain V6 engine, but it doesn't have any turbo stuff. It doesn't have all the high-tech stuff that's starting to break down on them more often. It still is a sharp-looking car. You know, people are going to look at this car and think, he's driving a 10-year-old car. Yeah, who would know? Does it look like a 10-year-old car? No. And the money he's saved for what he's getting, what a deal. There's things like this out there. You found it on Auto Trader. There's plenty of people buying and selling stuff. He bought it from the guy who bought it from the original owner. Guy he bought it from didn't drive it. He just bought it and then resold it. There's a lot of people that go around doing that. They see older people that are getting rid of vehicles and they'll offer them a little bit more than a trade-in value. Then they just sell it themselves because these things are not hard to sell. When they're in this kind of shape, running, even though it's got over 100,000 miles on it, that's nothing for a Lexus if it's been taken care of. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.